So there you see him right there. Marcus Johansson on that number 55, Hinches Pertec Polaris.
Every eye in the snowcross world is watching right now to see how this young man does on a top flight race team as we are ready to go green. Again, it's Heat 1, Round 1 of the U.S. Air Force Snowcross National from Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino here in Salamanca, New York. You see the riders looking to their right, keeping an eye on the starter. It's in the starter's hands. We're ready to go racing. And they're racing! Down the stretch they come towards the Air Force flyway. Pauline off camber gets the stud boy hole shot.
Boy, and he was way off camber. I don't know how Kyle was able to gather that up, but look at him working the outside line. I think this shows at that racetrack you can win from either inside or outside.
Who's that in the lead?
Matthew Marin. Matthew Marin used to race with Warner Racing on that number 27 Skidoo. He's a Canadian driver. That's who Matthew Marin is.
And Kyle Pauline got right around him and is out front. Kyle Pauline has had a disappointing year to this point, but suddenly he's out front here in New York, Mike.
Matthew Marin trying to make up some ground, as you said, got out early, but Pauline doing what he needs to do. We've had a talk earlier about Pauline, how he struggled a little bit, looking strong here. He looked good in qualifying in Deadwood, didn't qualify for the final at X Games, but looking strong here. And I'll tell you another driver, Corin Todd.
Here
Look
comes
for him.
Corin Todd. You are exactly right. It's Pauline, it's Matthew Marin, and Corin Todd looks to the inside, tries to take second from Corin.
Todd able to sneak underneath, and as I indicated, this racetrack has two lines. I think you can win from either line. We'll watch them as they go around. Pauline stays inside. Look at that. The 27 of Marin goes outside. Is now Corin Todd has moved into second.
Corin Todd sets his sights as he goes over the AMSOIL finish line on Kyle Pauline, but Matthew Marin is not going away. Huge air on the backstretch here at Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino into that Arctic Cat corner, your top three, and here comes Ryan Springer in the fourth.
Our race director, Jesse Stragg, said watch that back part of the racetrack. It is huge. These guys are going mammoth back there.
Right near there is Carly Applin, right beside the racetrack. Carly.
Kyle Pauline holding strong at number one right now. He came into this weekend with a whole new mentality. He's always very positive, but he said he struggled a little bit. But he's had a lot of luck here in New York. Not last year, but the year before he saw a podium. He said maybe it's an every other year thing for him. So hopefully we'll see him hold this first out there, get up on the podium tonight in the final.
Thank you, Carly, and I'll tell you, we got a battle shaping up for third, but I cannot get over the air they're getting on the backstretch here at Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino. That is a giant triple. Look at Ryan Springer.
And Springer, I was just going to say, Springer is the one that's going the biggest over that flyway. Well, watch them as they go back around again. It's still Pauline out in front, Corin Todd, Matthew Marin. Now Pauline with about a second and a half lead over the rest of the field.
They're going to hit the big air about right there. And let me tell you, that is a long way up in the air right there. Kyle Pauline with 3 laps to go. It goes Pauline, Todd, Marin, Springer, and Renheim. Renheim back in fifth. Got to be a little disappointed with that right now, Mike.
And Renheim just about got into the back of Ryan Springer's sled. He was pushing him hard. Springer checked up. Renheim very close. Had to hit the binders not to run into the back of him. Now goes to the inside. That'll be a good battle.
Yeah, that's the battle for fourth we were just talking about. Ryan Springer is a rookie. His first year in AMSOIL Pro Open, and right now battling with one of the fastest guys on the racetrack. That's Adam Renheim. Big air down the backstretch, and the battle for fourth continues.
Still Pauline and Todd out front. Marin in third, and you're watching the battle for fourth and fifth. Springer on the 541 Polaris, the 311 sled. That is Renheim, and now he's gotten around Springer, so he moves up to fourth place.
He sure did. What a move for Adam Renheim, and now he sets his sights on third. The white flag will be out as those guys come out of the FXR corner and head for the AMSOIL finish line. 1 lap to go. Renheim on the 311 into third, gets around Matthew Marin. He is on a tear with less than half a lap to go.
Boy, he found another gear big time. He's gotten around 2 drivers
off the
within
track
the last
he
lap.
goes.
Too much aggression. He pushed it hard. Back on. No foul getting back on, but boy, he's got to be frustrated there.
He lost 2 spots by going off the track on the final lap. Speaking of the final lap, though, as we see that battle, here comes Kyle Pauline. Kyle Pauline will win. He won round 1 of the AMSOIL Pro Open here at Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino. Round 9 of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross. These are the U.S. Air Force Snowcross Nationals. A great win for Kyle Pauline. Corin Todd will come in second, and look at that. Matthew Marin will hold on for third. A good run for him. Fourth went to Ryan Springer. Adam Renheim came in 5th, and Corey Watkinson 6th. Marcus Johansson in 7th, and Zach Patton rounded out the field in 8th. We'll come right back and talk to our winner. This is AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram on the CBS Sports Network. And we're ready to go racing again right now, Mike.
Let's line them up. Lincoln Lemieux, Peter Puhatka, we believe it is.
That's right.
Peter Narsa is in the field, but we're not sure if he's going to be racing. We'll watch closely. Tim Tremblay, John Stenberg, Andrew Carlson, and Dave Jonas. We talked about Narsa being injured in Deadwood. He is out. Okay, so he will be not racing. He is in the schedule, but not making the call.
About to go green, we see somebody broke the line just a smidge there. They'll back him up. No harm, no foul. But Pieti Puhaka, yeah, you said it, from Cheshire, Massachusetts. One of the riders who came over here to race this weekend. We're glad to have him and glad to see him racing. We are green, and we are headed for the Air Force Flyaway in Salamanca, New York.
Stenberg trying to work. Oh, and it looked like Lemieux or Tremblay just cased one in there. He was out front, and it knocked him back a couple of 2-3 places.
And over the AMSOIL finish line with the flames in the air, Lincoln Lemieux has the lead.
That means that it was Tremblay that kind of cased the top of that one rhythm section bump. And look at Stenberg go big.
That's because our leader, Lincoln Lemieux, had a hard landing and almost missed it, but he stays out in front and the battle begins for second. That's Stenberg and David Jonas right behind him right there.
Stenberg on that green Makita Skidoo, racing for Warner Racing out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. He, of course, from Norway. Oof. And there's another driver. You take the last couple of weeks, a couple of rounds, has really stepped up the pace.
We've seen the injuries in our sport, but I'll tell you what, it just opens the doors for young racers to come in and find their footing, and we're seeing that with guys like Stenberg.
Talked about the triple-double. That's exactly what they're doing, but Stenberg almost had the same problem there as he got too deep. You get too deep, you're either going to get pulled off like Renheim did, or you're going to get into some soft snow, and you have a hard time cornering around the corner.
He is bumping and banging with Tim Tremblay. Tremblay falls off the pace a little bit, but that is the teammate of your leader right there, Tim Tremblay, in third right now. So Lemieux, Stenberg, Tremblay are 1, 2, 3, and it's about to shape up for second as here comes Tremblay again.
Tremblay on the Skidoo, the AMSOIL Skidoo with the yellow skis. The number 11 sled, his teammate, your race leader, on the number 13 Skidoo, he has black skis. That's one way to tell the two sleds apart.
And I'll tell you what, it's a big weekend for the U.S. Air Force, and both those sleds are sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. They'd love to do well here this weekend,
and
Mike.
Both the drivers out of Shearing Speed Sports in the top 5 in points, so they've got a lot to gain here.
Out of the FXR turn and headed towards the AMSOIL finish line. Crossed flags in the air means we're halfway through this race, and Tim Tremblay still trying to find a way around John Stenberg, as you see your leader in second on your screen right there.
Stenberg's got a second on him as you see him go double into the corner. They rail up high. Tremblay's still right there, and right behind him is Dave Jonas.
Let's go down to Carly Appam with the best seat in the house. Carly, go right ahead.
Guys, I want to tell you a little bit about these snow conditions. This is all man-made snow. You might not be able to tell if you're watching from home, but man-made snow versus natural snow can make a difference for these racers. With the man-made snow, it gets a little bit icier underneath, but Tucker Hibbert said that's really due to the weather conditions, and right now we have perfect racing conditions, so hopefully it won't get icy, but we'll check in with the riders later and find out.
That's an interesting change as the night goes on, Mike. It'll be fun to watch as the track changes.
Lemieux still out in front. Stenberg sitting in second as you see that camera shot right there. The difference between the two, about 1.2 seconds. Stenberg inside, Lemieux stays outside. Looks like Stenberg made up a little ground there.
There's no doubt that that's where he's fastest on this racetrack. You see Tim Tremblay no longer even in the shot right there, and the battle is for the lead. Now Lincoln Lemieux again is in the top 5 in the points right now, and Stenberg is trying to track him down. What a coming out party this season has been for Lincoln Lemieux.
And for John Stenberg, here again, you just talk about how so many of these younger, early entry Pro Open drivers have elevated their level and how they're performing. Granted, injuries, like you said, have played a role in allowing these guys to be more competitive, but still, these guys are pro athletes, and they're showing it right now.
Towards the AMSOIL finish line, the white flag is in the air for the AMSOIL sled of Lincoln Lemieux. The 13 with a big air on the backstretch and into the last few turns with a good 1.8 second lead over second place John Stenberg right now.
Lemieux works his way through the Arctic Cat turn. They'll make their way into the front stretch here.
That's
right
your
through
battle
the
for
rhythm
third right there, Mike, on the
that's
screen.
Tremblay, and right behind Tremblay, Dave Jonas on the Royal Distributing Arctic Cat.
Out of the FXR turn, though, and headed for the finish line is going to be your winner. And there he is. Lincoln Lemieux will hang on for the win. Stenberg will come across in second, but the battle for third continues as they head for the finish line. Tim Tremblay will hold on for that. David Jonas comes across in fourth. Andrew Carlson in fifth. And sixth will be Pieti Puhaka. And that will round out the second heat of round one of the AMSOIL Pro Open class with a big win for Lincoln Lemieux.
And the best news is there's still one heat left to go, including in that heat is 9-time Pro Open champion Tucker Hibbert.
I believe New York has some Tucker Hibbert fans. We saw him last year and the year before that. Thank you, Carlin. As you can see, the riders, 7 of them on the starting line. This is heat 3 of round 1 of the AMSOIL Pro Open class. You see that big Monster Energy helmet right there? That's the man himself. That's Tucker Hibbert, right near the middle of the starting line, which is the preferred line out of the starting gate. Here we go. We are green and we are racing in New York. Tucker Hibbert out front, but it is a drag race through the Air Force Flyaway with Ross Martin.
Ross Martin, bar to bar with him going into the corner. Ross checked up, gave him the line, and that allowed him to move up in front. So Hibbert, your early race leader. Jake Scott sitting in second.
Yeah, and it's a very close second for Jake Scott over the big air.
And we've seen Jake Scott and Tucker Hibbert do big battle in round number 8 in Deadwood, South Dakota before Tucker was able to get around Jake. Martin in third, Christian, Poirier, Osmo, and Trevor Layton.
There he is, the 9-time champion, already out front. Down the stretch he comes. Tucker Hibbert in the lead. In second, Jake Scott. There's Ross Martin in third, and right behind him, Logan Christian right now scored in fourth.
Logan trying to find the line, but there is your leader, Tucker Hibbert. Tucker goes over that triple, then doubles up here into that corner. Hard brake check there, kind of turn it hard left before you head through that switchback dogleg and back into the front part of the racetrack.
You'll see him head towards here, a left-hand turn, and now down the front stretch right in front of the grandstands and the booth we're in right here. Tucker right there into the ram turn and out of the FXR turn, trying to be as smooth as possible, but this is the third heat of these racers, and it gets tougher and tougher, especially in that section of the racetrack, Mike.
Chewed up big time. You know, you look at the power that these sleds have, adding that much more power, turning the track that many more times. These guys just ripping it up. So you're in the third heat here after they've groomed. It's chewed up pretty good.
Tucker Hibbert continues to lead over Jake Scott. It's about 2.8 seconds right now. Ross Martin currently still scored in third. Good to see Ross Martin back out on the racetrack. There's your second place rider right there of Jake Scott, Mike.
Jake, as you indicated, about a 3-second lead over Ross Martin. Jake making the change from Polaris to Arctic Cat. Was released from his team last year, looked for a ride, came up with this ride, and I'll tell you what, we really seen him come out in Deadwood. We can't make enough reference to that. It was so impressive how he led the round 8 final till the end when Tucker Hibbert was able to get around him.
And you look at this battle now shaping up for third. Ross Martin right there and Logan Christian, as that is again the battle for third, a little farther back in the pack. But Ross Martin's injured earlier in the season. He's back with us now racing. Looked like he was still a little ginger when we were in Deadwood, but it looks like he's up to full speed now, Mike.
We talked to Scott Judnick this afternoon. I asked Juddy, I said, Ross ready to go? And he just looked at me and smiled. Juddy said he hasn't had any seat time since X Games. He's just stayed away from the sled, been doing some cardio and working out and things like that, but trying to let the ankle heal.
Let's go down to Carly Applin to get beside the racetrack, Carly.
As this race goes on behind us, I want to give you an update on two riders. I just talked to Trace Layton from Layton Motorsports, and we saw Trevor Layton just take the start for this heat race. He will not be racing the rest of tonight. He has broken his back in 2 places. Corin Todd, their other rider, is also battling a back injury. He did race his heat race, but we'll see how it goes for him the rest of the night. Guys.
My goodness, Carly, broke his back in 2 places. Our thoughts, of course, with Trevor Layton. Sorry, very sorry to hear that. Good to hear that he was even able to take the start there. But it has been a tough season for a lot of these racers. As we continue out here on the racetrack, Tucker Hibbert continues to lead, a 5-second lead right now, but that is the battle going on a ways back behind him. The 43 of Logan Christian trying to get around Ross Martin.
Now, Logan just can't seem to find a line to try to get around. 1 lap left to go. There you see him go big again. He's close now. Let's see if he can try to get a ski underneath him. He did.
But here comes Ross again. He boxes him out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's clean racing, though. You're in that part of the racetrack. That's good clean racing.
And Logan is not done. He looks to the inside. Now goes Ross Martin out front. He pulls away a bit. And we will see this race end with Tucker Hibbert getting the win. But towards the checkers, Jake Scott will come second. Who's going to run third? And that will be Ross Martin just in front of Logan Christian. He'll come across in 4th. Danny Poyer will come across in 5th. Nico Osmo in 6th. And as we mentioned, Trevor Layton just took the start and did not finish. Great crowd on hand here at the Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino for round 9 of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram. And we keep going. We keep on racing, man. Heat 1, round 2 of the Pro Lite division heads to the starting line. And again, this is such a fun class, Mike. And the rounds earlier tonight were very competitive.
This is one that's going to go, the points battle is going to go all the way to Lake Geneva. Let's line them up. Turchanik, Montana Jess, your points leader. Nick Patton, Daniel Benham, De Silva, Anderson, Max Tyfair, Cole Coutu, and Elias Eschel, Mr. Excitement. And we are green.
They are racing and headed for the Air Force. Fly away down the front stretch they come. Look at them, 5 abreast into the turn, Mike.
Montana Jess on that 765 sled. Cole Coutu right behind him. And who's bar to bar with him? Is that Daniel Benham? It is.
It is.
Benham goes big on the outside. He's your early race leader.
Look at the big air even in the Pro Lite class, but they don't have enough to get quite as far. So a couple of them bang the bars hard when they land over there. It's Benham, it's Jess, and Cole Coutu, and we've got some racers down. That's the 228.
Patton is one of them, and the other would be Turchanik.
So we'll get everybody over there to make sure we know they're okay. Let's look at what happened here, Mike. And we'll see, a hard landing right there.
Landed goofy, and everybody kind of bumping around, but I think that they're all up and out of that area.
That is a hard impact on your ankles right there. I hope Turchanik is all right. Meanwhile, back up front, Daniel Benham, who's been very fast, continuing to try to hold off, but now it's Max Tyfer is up to second. Look at Elias Eschel's now finally up to third.
We've talked each and every week recently about Elias Eschel being more reserved and more patient. I would venture a guess, a racetrack like this, it's not going to make him be any more patient. He's going to want to get out and charge.
Well, you got plenty of room to move, and as you see, he's moving to the outside. That's Elias Eschel trying to make the move to the front.
Tries to get around Benham. I think he has him.
He got the lead coming out of the FXR turn, and Elias Eschel is your leader.
Let's see if Benham can counter back down underneath. We've seen Ross Martin and Logan Christian do some dicing that way. Nope, he's too far out in front.
Max Tyfair now battles for second with Daniel Benham, but there goes Elias Eschel. When you've got this much room to move and you are fast, you are gone. And that's what Elias Eschel is doing right now in this first heat of round 2 of the Pro Lite division.
Montana Jess, your points leader, who looked like he was going to have an early hole shot and lead, sitting currently in 4th, Coutu in 5th, Anderson, Patton, Turchanik, and Jake De Silva. That's the way the rest of the field looks.
There is your leader, and he has been fast everywhere this year, using patience, a virtue that he did not possess early in his career, but that was expected out of a 16-year-old. As he gets a little bit older, now he's 17, he's a little bit more mature, and we are seeing utter domination out of Elias Eschel.
Watch him as he goes through here. We talk, he's out in front, substantial lead. He does look a little more reserved here. It's not right on the ragged edge.
Over the AMSOIL finish line, 2 laps to go for Elias Ishuel, your current leader with big air. And again, Mike, these Pro Lite sleds don't have the horsepower that those Pro Open sleds do, but they're still going for that triple, and Elias is making it.
They're both 600 cc's, but as you indicated, there's so many different things that they can do to the Pro Open sleds that they cannot do to the Pro Lite. These are basically stock motors in them, whereas the Pro Open sleds can do so many different things to increase the horsepower.
Out of the FXR turn, headed for the white flag is Elias Ishuel. 1 lap to go for the young man out of Norway. It continues to be Daniel Benham across the flags in second, and Max Tyfair is right now in third.
Montana Jess sitting in fourth, Cole Coutu, Nick Patton, Corbin Anderson, and then Steven Turchanik. Those are your top 8 drivers.
Again, glad to see Turchanik got back on his sled. Yeah. It is under power and it's still on the racetrack, so that is good news. Out of that dog leg and down the Air Force flyaway comes your leader, Elias Ishuel. Into the turn. The FXR flags right there beside him as he heads for the finish line. And Elias Ishuel has done it again in Salamanca, New York with the win here. Heat 1, round 2 of the Pro Lite division. Daniel Benham will come across in second with Max Tyfair in third. Montana Jess, your points leader, comes across in fourth. And Cole Coutu will round out your top 5 here in Heat 1, round 2.
Like we said,
it's about to go to starters' hands. And again, I want to make sure I remind everybody, you can watch on the CBS Sports Network tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. AMSOIL Championship Snowcross powered by Ram, and then come right back here tomorrow afternoon. About to go racing, and they are green in New York.
Constead Wade at the outside in that number 14.
Oh, hold on to it.
Oh, boy.
In the heat races, they've been bumping and banging right off the start. Can you imagine what it's going to be like in the finals when there are 15 sleds out there, Mike?
Angove sitting in second. It's Tyler Adams on the Christian Brothers Arctic Cat out front. Angove in second, and Kyle Rowe, Michael George, Wallenstein, Johnstead Blanchan, and Muller.
Your leader, though, Tyler Adams, out of the Arctic Cat corner. As you see, their single file coming out of that corner and still making just giant air on that backstretch. As you see your leader, the 705. That's Tyler Adams out of Elk River, Minnesota for Christian Brothers Racing and Arctic Cat, having a great weekend here so far and leads them out of the FXR turn and headed over that AMSOIL finish line. The green is in the air.
Angove trying to make a beat on him, but about a second and a half behind.
Oh. Jake Angove with a hard case over that triple. And again, you got to make a decision whether you're going to try to make that, and you better have enough speed behind you to get all 3 of them.
Yeah, if you land short, that's an owie. It's not a good deal. You land short, and it could take and pitch you to the point that you won't be able to line up for the double.
Look at this. Oh, goodness. Oh, my. A rider off his sled right there.
Kyle Rao.
Wow, that was a very tough landing. But again, there's your leader. That's Tyler Adams. Tyler racing very, very well out front, trying to stay in front of Jake Angove, who is not giving up the chase right now as we have 4 laps to go.
Yeah, Angove shaved off a bunch of time. It was 1.2 seconds. He shaved off about 0.3 last time.
Oh, there he goes.
Here comes Angove on the outside. Watch him as they transition into the rhythm section here.
I don't think Tyler Adams knew he was there, but he sure does now as they skip like rocks down that Air Force flyaway and into the turn.
Angove much cleaner through that part of the racetrack. Now this is where Tyler's been a little faster, but look at Angove trying the inside this time.
Watch the big air right here. And they both go for the triple, and they both get it, but just barely. Into the Arctic Cat corner, the race continues. We have 3 laps to go in this heat of the Pro Lite division, and it is unsettled out front as Angove tries to take the spot on the inside once again.
Boy, he railed it up in the back of that sled.
He got him.
Now the thing is, can he hold it through that part of the racetrack? He's got the outside line. Can he make it work? He's trying to sneak underneath. That's a great power move right there.
What a move. And headed for the AMSOIL finish line is your new leader, Jake Angove, with the speed move in the FXR turn, has taken the lead with 2 laps to go.
Boy, that was a power move. There you see Angove. Oh, and
Tyler Adams off his sled. We talked about that triple. You got to have the speed. That time he cased it hard and came off his sled, Mike.
You know, just no harm, no foul. He just lost it.
Let's take a look at it.
Back up.
Again, he went for the triple.
There's
your leader.
Angove.
You'll see right behind him the green sled right there, a little off camber.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. I actually
and the way he landed, he came up over the handlebars.
Yes.
Then you lose all your strength. You can't take and make the sled do what you want it to do. You lost control, came off.
Too bad for the man who was running second at the time, but now Jake Angove takes the white flag. 1 lap to go as we will set the field, the new running order, as Wallenstein now moves up into second since Adams came off his sled. That'll put James Johnstead maybe into third. No, Adams got back in time to continue to run third. That's amazing.
It is. So Adams will stay in third, Johnstead in fourth, Blanchard, George, Muller, and Kyle Rao ending up the field in 8th place.
He did not get handed this one, though. Your leader through the FXR turn is headed for the AMSOIL finish line. The checkers are in the air for Jake Angove as he will win Heat 2, Round 2 of the Pro Light Division. All the way from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin to Salamanca, New York for the checkers. Wallenstein will come across. I believe he will run second. He will. Kevin Wallenstein will come across in second. James Johnstead will come across in third, and Tyler Adams will hold on for fourth, which, when all is said and done, after such a hard crash, he'll take that, I'm sure. Travis Muller comes across in fifth, and Jacob Blanchard in sixth. Michael George in seventh, and Kyle Rao will round out the field. Let me cast a line in there, but I didn't. I looked around. You never know, right? Let's go racing here, man. This is a final for all the hardware, and they are racing. Down the front stretch they go. We've got 8 sleds in this final, and they are bunched up as they hit the Air Force flyaway, and look who's out front. That's the 312 of Danny Poyer.
Yeah, Danny out of St. Theodore d'Acton Province, Quebec, Canada, one of the top racers in this plus 30 group. And he did the same thing in the qualifying rounds earlier today, Chris. He took off, ran off, and hit. And you notice here in this plus 30 class, I don't think we're going to see the triple doubles. I think we're going to see double single back there.
Again, as Mike was saying earlier, these guys are smart enough to know what they can and can't do, right?
And they know what their sleds can and can't do as well. Sure. Here comes Danny as he makes his way back down to the front stretch here and off the U.S. Air Force flyaway, and he is already gapped out by several seconds. Brodeur was second on the takeoff lap. Paul Richard third, followed by Meyer and Justin Monty as Danny makes it around the FXR turn to complete the lap here. Very smooth, fluid motion, and we're going to take a look at an incident that happened right here at the start. Watch coming over the AMSOIL finish line jump. Ouch!
I believe that's the 357. That was Brad Meyer off his sled right there over the AMSOIL finish line, as you mentioned there, Paul. And that's a hard crash. Looks like he got up and got back underway. But back up front, that's the 312 of Danny Poyer, and he has checked out. Now, Danny will be racing multiple classes here tonight, and right now he's got a 6.3 second lead over Patrick Brodeur and Justin Monty, who's currently scored in third.
Yeah, you'll see him in the second round of AMSOIL Pro Open coming up here in a little bit. This is another trouble spot on the track. Watch where Danny's coming. He sets it down on the backside of that AMSOIL finish line jump. We've seen riders getting in trouble over jumping that, flat landing it, and that's putting him out of kilter either to go into that Polaris flyaway, into that rhythm section, or it's just flat knocking him off the sled.
A big, long racetrack, plenty of opportunity to lose your mental clarity for a moment and make a mistake, especially late in the race as we are here in the final. We've still got 5 laps to go. As we were talking about earlier, your arms get tired, you lose a little bit of mental focus, and you're off your sled. But we have a pass right here. That was David Blunt around Justin Monty, and I believe that's the battle for third.
Yeah, and Justin doing a good job getting the acceleration out of the corner as they work out of that Arctic Cat turn, come back towards the U.S. Air Force flyaway. And you can see he's already pulled out about 2 or 3 sled lengths here on the Polaris over the Arctic Cat. Nice and smooth through the rhythm section here. These guys aren't trying to double their way through. They're not trying to pound across the top. They're just trying to flow.
So David Blunt flows through the fastest, and he will take over third and the final spot on the podium for now. But the race is back on over the AMSOIL finish line. Again, that's the battle for third, and it continues to be David Blunt just barely holding off Justin Monty.
And Monty, he messed up there a little bit. You saw that he landed on top of the AMSOIL finish line jump. Then he wound up getting a little air as he dropped down onto the flat. That was just enough for David Blunt. He was already on the throttle. He nailed the backside of the jump perfectly. There's the gap now between third and fourth place.
A sizable gap right now between third and fourth. So it's Poyer, Brodeur, and now David Blunt, Justin Monty, and Martin Malou is right now scored in fifth, with Paul Richard, James Blunt, and Brad Meyer rounding out the rest of the field.
And we go back to your leader, Danny Poirier, up at the front of the field. Get the 17.3 second lead for Danny on this Ingles Performance Skidoo. And their team, his team, is actually based about 2.5 hours north of here in the central New York area, just north of Syracuse.
Glad to see it for the hometown fans as you see him over the finish line. That'll be 2 laps to go as he crosses that Amsoil finish line for Danny Poirier. Very smooth through the back section of the racetrack. Taking no big chances. He'll take that outside line through the Arctic Cat corner.
And notice he didn't hammer that berm.
No.
He just kind of rode it and just railed it around nice and smooth on the outside. Danny has got probably the best throttle control of any of the racers that we've seen on the East Coast in the past 5 or 6 years.
And you see him again through the Air Force flyaway section. As he makes his way out of the FXR turn here, the white flag will await, which means 1 lap to go before the flames shoot in the sky, and the win goes to Danny Poirier if he can hold on for 1 more lap.
And Patrick Brodeur is still way back in second. He's just coming across the Amsoil finish line jump as we watch Poirier hit the Arctic Cat corner. That gives you an idea of just how big the lead that Danny has built up is. He's basically checked out, tipped the bellhop, and said goodbye.
He absolutely has. Dealing with some lap traffic once again. We take a look a little farther back in the field.
Looks like the battle here for 5th and 6th between Martin Malou on the 880 Polaris and the 355 of Paul Richard. And here comes Poirier. He'll make it around the FXR final corner. And
Head
the double checkers.
There you go, the flames in the air, and a big win for Danny Poirier. Here in the the Air Group Pro-Am Plus 30 class, a big, giant win. We haven't even scored second place yet. We'll tell you what the differential was in just a second, as there's Patrick Brodeur on the 811, currently scored in second, making his way into that ram turn. You see the checkers await at the Amsoil finish line. Makes his way out of the FXR turn and headed for the Amsoil finish line. Coming across in second, Patrick Brodeur will score in second. And right behind him, I believe, will be David Blunt will come across in third. Here he comes. Congratulations, David. In second place for BRP, Anderson Racing, Fly Racing USA, and Star Suspension. Out of Derby, Vermont, the number 811, Patrick Brodeur.
I love it. David Blunt so excited to get on the podium. He's busting up the scenery.
Congratulations, Patrick. And our winner for Ingles Performance Skidoo, Woody's, CNA Pro Skis, Fly, Scott, and Rocks. Out of St. Theodore, Quebec, the number 312, Danny Poirier. Congratulations. Let's go down to Chelsea at Winner's Circle. Chelsea.
Hey guys, this is our Air Group Pro-Am Plus 30 class in the 3rd spot. We've got David Blunt. Now David, you had to work really hard for this 3rd spot. Tell us about that battle.
Oh, the track's getting really rough, so all I did is just try and keep on pushing and pushing and last as long as I could without falling off.
And who do you want to thank for your 3rd spot tonight?
A DNA Body Shop, Schilling Auto Salvage, All Metal Stamping, R&D Designs, Cherokee Garage, Diesel Truck Service, Spy Goggles. I know I'm forgetting to get a bunch more again, but thank you again to everybody in my family, and it's been a great night.
Well, congratulations, great race. Over in 2nd spot, we have Patrick Brodeur. Now, Patrick, usually it's you and Megan at the races every weekend, but now you have a huge following, family, friends. How does it feel?
Feels great. Actually, I'm very happy they're here. Also, now I want to thank my team, Anderson Racing, Walls Unlimited. I want to thank Skidoo, BRP Racing from Valcourt, Stud Boy, CNA Pro Skis, and my kids again, all my friends at home, people from SCM, tout le monde du Québec. Merci de la gang à suivre les courses. On vous aime bien. Bye.
Congratulations, Patrick. And on top of the box, we got Danny Poirier. Now, Danny, you ran away with the race lead right away. Tell us about your start.
I get a pretty good start. I kind of changed the rhythm in this section, so I went off section, and that works really good. But just at the start, I could do it after the start, so that's why I took the lead right away, I guess.
And who do you want to thank for your win tonight?
Big thanks to Ingles Performance, Skidoo, CNA Pro, Woody's, VP Fuel, 999, Fly, and Patrick. So thank you, everybody, my family, my kids.
Well, congratulations. Great race today. That was your top 3. I'm sending it back to you guys.
Great racing, and we welcome Mike Schroeder back into the booth as we get ready for the recreational motorsports 120 champ 6 through 12-year-olds. Mike, it's always so much fun to watch these races, and we've got a full field of 15 youngins ready to go green. It's in the starters' hands. 15 sleds ready to go green in New York, and they are racing.
Watch these guys funnel into this area, guys and gals, I should say.
Through the Air Force flyaway, and here they come.
Everybody finding some real estate. Look at Hollow work on the outside.
Into the FXR turn, and we will set the field as everybody makes it through cleanly over the Amsoil finish line, and your leader is Cameron Cole.
Tucker Hollow right behind him. Martinson in third. Carson Berry, Lawson Sterry. Then it's Brady Freeland, Autumn Schlotteroff, Logan Schlotteroff. Those are your top 8.
Camden Duffy, Grady Getzky. Then you got Cody Koch, Nick Brevik, Micah Schlotteroff, Jace Rarick, and Connor Zorn. That is your full field. But out front again is Cameron Cole, your leader. And there he is, Cameron Cole, the 747. Cameron was our 4th fastest qualifier out of Medina, Minnesota for Playstead Companies. And down the Air Force flyaway comes your leader. And you get a great idea just how big these jumps are compared to these tiny sleds as they head through that FXR turn.
Boy, and Holla got shuffled back, sitting in 4th place right now.
Over the Amsoil finish line, your leader continues to be Cameron Cole. Then Carson Berry has moved into 2nd. Tyler Martinson in 3rd right now, and Tucker Holla back to 4th. And this is the battle right there. That's the 138, or the 136, I should say, of Tyler Martinson as he tries to make his way around Carson Berry and tries to take over that 2nd spot.
Berry was your number 3 qualifier out of Grass Lake, Michigan on his Polaris. That's the Mid-America Machining FXR Polaris.
And look at this battle, Mike, for 2nd. It's Berry and Martinson doing the battle for 2nd place and another spot on the podium. You had just a second to see your leader, Cameron Cole, but there's 2nd, there's 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the screen.
Martinson staying outside. Berry gonna drift out. He stays to the outside.
We've got a sled right there. The yellow is out. They make their way through clean, but here comes Tyler Martinson. They'll head for the Amsoil finish line.
Let's see what he can do. They got that big jump, then they're down in the corner.
2 laps to go, and the battle rages on for 2nd here in Salamanca, New York.
He looks over his shoulder. Carson seeing that Martinson still there.
And Tucker Holla's about to do battle for 3rd himself. A spot on the podium up for grabs as well, as Cameron Cole is checked out by almost 5 seconds. But we got a rider off his sled. Carson Berry came off his sled. The 2nd place rider is off his sled.
But that'll move Martinson up to 2nd, and Tucker Holla now on the podium in 3rd place.
And we'll see what happened here if we can get a good look at this.
It's right down the front. He just got a little steep, not enough speed.
Little off camber there.
Yep.
Good job by Tyler Martinson to get around him, and we'll get another look at it.
And there's no give and go on these things. You know, they've got him pinned the whole way around this racetrack, so it's not like he could ask for a little more speed to try rail through there. He had what he had. Oh, and another one off.
Oh, no, we do have a sled off right in front of us, but there is your leader with less than a lap to go. It's Cameron Cole, once again out of Medina, Minnesota for Playstead Companies. Less than half a lap away from the checkers here in Salamanca, New York. Down the Air Force flyaway for the final time comes Cameron Cole. You see the yellow flag. He's not allowed to leave the ground. He's not allowed to pass, but there's no one to pass as he takes it on the outside through the FXR turn and headed for the flames. The 747 will take the checkers in Salamanca, New York, and the big win for Cameron Cole. And here comes 2nd place out of the FXR turn. Tyler Martinson will run 2nd, and Tucker Holla will come across in 3rd, just in front of Lawson Sterry, who'll come across in 4th. We'll set the entire field for you. Brady Freeland will come across in 5th. Autumn Schlotteroff in 6th. Logan Schlotteroff will come across in 7th. Here comes your 8th place racer. Out of the corner and over the Amsoil finish line. Looks like Camden Duffy will probably come across in 8th. Then Micah Schlotteroff, Cody Koch, Grady Getzky, Carson Berry in 12th, Nick Brebick in 13th, Connor Zorn in 14th, and Jace Rarick will be scored in 15th. But again, it went Cole, Martinson, and Tucker Holla. 1, 2, 3.
There's Tucker. Good job, buddy. Second place out of Port Edwards, Wisconsin. Racing for Fly Racing, FXR 999 Optics, and Terrace Custom Builders. On the number 136 Polaris, Tyler Martinson. And your winner from Medina, Minnesota, racing for Playstead Companies, ERX, Total Wellness Chiropractic, and FXR on the 747 Polaris, Cameron Cole. Let's go down to Winner's Circle in Chelsea.
Hey guys, this is our Recreational Motorsports 120 Champ Top 3. In the 3rd spot, we have Tucker Holla. Now Tucker, it's a Friday. Did you have to miss school to come here today?
Yeah,
And how much makeup work do you have to do?
not much.
Oh, good. And who do you want to thank for your 3rd spot today?
My mom, my dad, all my sponsors, and all the people who made all this stuff come true.
Well, congratulations, Tucker. Great race today. In 2nd spot, Tyler Martinson. I was watching you and Carson battle out on the track, and then Carson comes off of his sled. What was going through your mind at that point?
Move over.
And who do you want to thank for your big 2nd spot tonight?
The Tommies, my mom and dad, Ryan, Harris Holmes, Spark Septic, Trophy Bound, Accounting Plus, and everybody else who's helped me along the way.
Well, congratulations. Great race. And up on top of the box again tonight, Cameron Cole. I was watching you out in front, and you seem to be favoring the outside line. Is that a faster line tonight?
Yeah, because earlier today I crashed on the inside, so I might as well just take it outside, and it's way faster. Because if you're pinned, you could just rail that corner and just get far on the ahead of everybody.
And it sure seemed to work for you, Cam. Who do you want to thank for your win tonight?
I would like to thank Carlson Motorsports, my mom and dad, brother, sister, Brady Freeland, Drew Freeland,
Dalton, Jeremy Bester for making us lucky.
Delta, Jeremy Bester, FXR, Cam and Brennan, Alec Playstead, Todd Playstead, and everybody that I forgot.
Congratulations, Cam. Great race. That's your top 3. I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Chelsea. And see if he can do it again here in the second heat. I know he'd love to, and the people in the LaValle trailer would love to see it. And we are racing down the front stretch. David Jonas with a little bit of a hole shot, but there goes Kyle
on the
Pauline.
inside. Did just what you said he would do.
And look on the outside. There goes Logan Christian.
Logan Christian.
Into the lead over the Amsoil finish line is Logan Christian.
You know, when you go into 1 and 2 here, you've got rhythm on the inside. On the outside, you're just able to carry raw speed.
I just can't get over the air of the Amsoil Pro Open class on that backstretch. Setting the field, it's Logan Christian, Kyle Pauline, and Ryan Springer. 1, 2, 3 here in this, the first heat of round 2 of Amsoil Pro Open.
Jonas in 4th, and it's Zach Patton, Puhaka, and Matthew Marin in 7th.
Logan Christian is on fire out of that FXR turn right now. He heads for the Amsoil finish line. Big air once again, and watch as he hits the triples. A little bit of a bobble there, but in the air goes Logan.
Logie loves big air. I mean, we remember seeing him last year in Fargo. Remember how big he went off that jump? All practice, everybody was just doubling. Logie went for the big triple, and everybody's jaw just hit the ground.
Logan's from Fertile, Minnesota, but we'll call him Big Sky Country everywhere he goes. Through the Air Force flyaway, Logan Christian continues to pace the field, but Kyle Pauline's not going anywhere. The lead is less than a second right now as they hit that Amsoil finish line. 5 laps to go in this Amsoil Pro Open Pro Qualifier.
Pauline now about a second and 2/10 behind. He lost probably more that second circuit around here, did not have the best lap, lost 0.7 of a second. But right now, Kyle Pauline trying to find that line, make
And
up
he
some
got
ground
it.
and got around him.
He got the lead,
Here
but
comes
here comes
Logie back.
Logie. And down the Air Force flyaway. Look at that. Now Pauline to the inside, Christian to the outside. They're bar to bar as they head on the FXR turn. It's a drag race over the AMSOIL finish line.
It'll be fun to watch them go over this big jump together.
Look at the air. Now watch Logan right here as he'll triple into the turn, as does Kyle Pauline. Logan drifts just a little bit in the Arctic Cat corner and regains the lead, but suddenly Logan had a visitor in Kyle Pauline, and he didn't expect it, Mike.
Just Lyle, it's like Logie had just a tough lap that one lap. Lost his rhythm just a bit, gave an opportunity for him to take a pass. And here's Springer. That's Springer taking and working to try to get around Dave Jonas.
That's right.
So that's a battle for 3-4 right there.
And we're seeing a couple of young racers coming into their own right there as well. As Springer to the inside, in the air, they're bar to bar.
Oh, Jonas off track.
David Jonas, a hard landing, and he is off the track, so that'll put Springer into third. But man, that was close to disastrous right there, Mike. Let's look at what happened here.
Yeah, they came over together.
Oh my
Man, I'll
goodness.
tell you what, that's just awesome. Watch him, he's just off camera, runs out of a racetrack. Just didn't have anywhere to go. Came off, didn't come off the sled, able to get back on. No harm, no foul. That was a matter of just running out of racetrack is what it was.
You are exactly right. That's exactly what happened. Back up to the lead and into that Arctic Cat corner. There is Logan Christian and Kyle Pauline. The battle has raged from the very beginning, and we are 2 laps from the finish of this Heat 1 Round 2 of AMSOIL Pro Open.
Second and a half between the two of them. A little bit over. Boy, Logie looking good here.
He sure is.
And here you see, you have to go through that rhythm section on the inside. The outside, again, just raw power, and you're able to muscle your way all the way around. It's a little bit further around, but it's faster.
1 lap to go for Logan Christian, your leader out of Fertile, Minnesota on that Doc 360 sled. And there's second, there's third. There's Ryan Springer, who's very comfortably up to third. A very good run for the rookie right there. But now through the Air Force flyaway. Let's look and see what happened to Kyle Pauline here that made him drop back. Big air. Oh, a cross-up move. My goodness.
Another driver ran out of racetrack.
He sure did.
If you're going to be way on the outside and you're going that big, you run out of racetrack in a hurry.
So Logan Christian got the win, and Kyle Pauline will come across in second. Ryan Springer, a very strong third place. David Jonas, as we mentioned, off the racetrack. He'll come across in fourth. Pieti Pahuka will come across in fifth, and Zach Patton will round out the field in sixth. And they're racing in New York. Down the front stretch they come. And I believe that stud boy hole shot might have gone to Andrew Carlson. I'm not sure who that is out front right there.
That is Tremblay, or no, Lincoln Lemieux.
Now Lincoln Lemieux is your leader, but a great start of Miko Osmo on the 463 right there as well. And here comes Tim Tremblay now into second place.
So you've got both the Sharing Speed Sport sleds running 1 and 2. I walked by their trailer. I see Steve Sharing outside. I said, how's it going? He says, very pleased.
That's what we like to hear at the U.S. Air Force Nationals 1 and 2 right now. The U.S. Air Force AMSOIL sleds of Lincoln Lemieux and Tim Tremblay in that FXR turn.
And look at Tremblay goes inside. Lemieux stays outside. About a second and a half between the two of them. We'll see if either one of them changes up.
Lemieux almost came off his sled on that landing right there.
Big and landed funny.
Takes a look over his shoulder at his teammate, and speaking of landing funny, Marcus Johansson, that 55 sled. Let's take a look and see what happened to him. This is Tremblay right there, my goodness. And
There's
here comes Johansson right there.
Just landed weird, kicked over sideways.
That's going to be a trouble spot all night long, it appears. Whether you're landing off the racetrack or just landing hard, that'll be one spot to watch. But the man to watch is that number 13 sled, and Lincoln Lemieux won his first heat, and now he's on track to win his second as well.
Could Lincoln Lemieux be the number 1 qualifier in the AMSOIL Pro Open final?
We are about to find out if he can stay out in front of his teammate, Tim Tremblay. It's less than a second lead between 1 and 2. You just saw it. You see the Skidoo flags waving in the sky right there. And now they head for the Air Force flyaway, and the lead has shrunk just a little bit, Mike.
Every time I see him on the racetrack, I'm just surprised how he doesn't get rattled. He's just very straightforward, knows what he wants to do. You know, it doesn't seem like anything rattles him, and I think we've seen that in the interview after his first round of qualifying. You know, he said, I just knew what I needed to do. I got a little shook up, you know, in the start, but straightened it out, and away we went.
He seems to be doing the one thing you always see Tucker Hibbert do, Mike. He gets just enough air. He keeps that track on the snow as much as possible. Even over the big air triples, he's not skying quite as much as everybody else, which means he's on the track more, which means you can get back on the throttle quicker. Watch this.
Well, sometimes you're faster in the air, sometimes you're faster on the ground. It all depends upon the racetrack and your setup and how you're addressing, you know, those jumps and how you're getting over them and clearing them. There you see his teammate Tim Tremblay trying to make up some ground on him. The difference between the two still about a second and a half is Lincoln leads his roommate, his teammate around here.
Wow, Lincoln Lemieux gave the fans in the front row a bit of a thrill as he came down the front stretch right there. Headed straight towards them, but got her turned just in time. He continues to lead with 2 laps to go. Takes again another look over his shoulder, and Tim Tremblay is still right there. The lead is now 1.3 seconds in that Arctic Cat corner between the teammates.
Both of them taking outside lines.
Into the Skidoo turn.
And they'll come right back in front of us here in this rhythm section.
Lincoln Lemieux very fast through the Air Force flyaway. Into the Ram and then the FXR turns. As he heads for the Amsoil finish line on that Amsoil sled, he'll get the white flag. 1 lap to go in Heat 2 of Round 2 of the Amsoil Pro Open class.
Two guys that are just pretending like they're having a practice session at Planet X up in Aurora, Minnesota. This time Lincoln is the one that's being chased.
Less than half a lap to go for that young man right there, Lincoln Lemieux, out of St. Johnsbury, Vermont for Amsoil Synthetic Lubricants and the U.S. Air Force.
Tremblay changed it up. Tremblay tried to go inside.
Out of the FXR turn, the checkers are in the air, and Lincoln Lemieux has done it again. 2 races, 2 wins for Lincoln Lemieux, Mike.
Huge. That is huge. That builds so much confidence, and look at Tim thumbs up to each other. Some good racing. Tremblay coming in second, and Tremblay had a good round 1 qualifying too.
Sure did.
You could see both of the Shearing Speed Sport sleds, I would say, within the top 4 or 5 qualifiers in the final.
But just by a smidge, I think. That was probably the clutch, right?
That was clutch engaging. You know, they're trying to get that clutch to grab. When they do that, sometimes the sled will lurch forward, maybe a couple, 2-3 inches, just enough to break the beam.
Jimmy John's sled closest to you, ready to go green. It's in the starter's hands. And they're racing in New York. Headed for the Air Force flyaway all the way to the inside is Tucker Hibbert. Oh no! Watkinson off his sled. Major contact over the Air Force flyaway. Looks like he's okay. A hard landing. Let's look at what just happened right in front of us, Mike.
Boy, didn't he go in the air? Fortunately, nobody really behind him. There were drivers, but they seen him, able to get around, and Corey able to walk away from that ugly mess.
Meanwhile, the man out front is the guy we always see out there. Tucker Hibbert just in front of Corin Todd. The 9-time and defending champion is Tucker Hibbert, and he's your man setting the pace in Salamanca, New York.
Now, the interesting thing here will be to see how hard Tucker Hibbert pushes it. He says he's out to win every race, which he is. But the other thing is, how hard will Corin Todd push it to try to catch Tucker Hibbert?
There he is. That's Corin Todd. Right behind him is Adam Renheim, and that is about to be a battle right there. You see Ross Martin in 4th back there. Who's that?
That, of course, one of Tucker's mechanics holding a pit board.
And doesn't even need to write anything on the pit board right now, but the battle for second needs a whole lot of pit board. Look at this. Corin Todd and Adam Renheim. And that's going to be a battle I believe we're going to see a lot in the future, Mike.
It is. We have talked about these two drivers, how they've both excelled here, especially over the past couple, 3-4 rounds, and now doing battle for second and third place here in this qualifying heat.
Looks to the inside, does Renheim just for a second, but can't make a move there. He'll try to be patient. Again, this is just a qualifying race, and there's 4.5 laps to go in this third heat of the second round of AMSOIL Pro Open. Renheim almost off his sled right there, but again he collects it as he tries to reel in Corin Todd and almost lost him, Mike.
He's another driver, big, tall, strong, able to move his weight around, change that center of balance. You've seen it just get away from him for a second, able to gather it back up as we watch Corin Todd make a circuit around this racetrack. Corin going big, then back down into that switchback Artie Cat corner before they transition back into the front straightaway and in a very demanding rhythm section.
There was Ross Martin just for a second. He's the man in fourth, but out front, once again, your leader just transferred in front of us. Tucker Hibbert, a 1.5 second lead, but again, Mike, you know, he really hasn't run away from the field right now as he does have a 1.9 second lead, but this is a big racetrack. This is the kind of racetrack that potentially Tucker likes to get out front and just run away and hide, but Corin Todd's keeping up with him right now.
That's, as I said, Tucker's only going to push it as hard as he needs to right now. He's save a little gas in the tank for the final. Looked over his shoulder. He's getting plenty of information from his mechanic as to where he's at. Knows that he's out in front, got a couple of second lead, and making circuits, counting them down as there's 2 laps left to go.
Over the AMSOIL finish line. You said it, 2 laps to go for that man, the 9-time and defending champion, Tucker Hibbert, the T-Trade. Corin Todd, big air right behind him on the 36 there out of Otsego, New York for Polaris and Fly. Renheim again right behind him. Corin Todd just so smooth for this young racer. And there's your leader once again, 1, 2, and 3 on your screen. As they come out of the FXR turn, you'll see the white flag in the air. Todd is reeled in. Tucker just a smidge right there. The white flag is in the air.
Shaved off about 0.3 of a second. Tucker still feeling comfortable as you see Adam Renheim go over the jump. There is Corin Todd again.
Corin would love nothing more than to find a way to reel in Tucker Hibbert on this last lap. Tucker takes a look over his shoulder. Now we'll take that hard left and head towards the Air Force flyaway. Right behind him, Corin Todd. There's 1, 2, and 3. You see it. Into the final turns for the final time. Out of the FXR final turn and headed for the checkers. The 68 of Tucker Hibbert will take the win once again here in Heat 3, Round 2 of the AMSOIL Pro Open class.
Corin Todd coming in second. Adam Renheim in third. Corin Todd's got to be kind of, a little extra pressure on him. He now carrying the Polaris colors out of Leighton Motorsports with Trevor Layton's injury here today. So tough break for Leighton Motorsports. Corin trying to carry those colors.
Let's go racing. This again in the last chance qualifier.
Line them up. Cole Coutu, Jake De Silva, Jacob Blanchard, Michael George, Kyle Rao had a tough off in his qualifying heat. Corbin Anderson and Steven Turchanik, and we're green.
5 sleds will go to the final. The other 2 are done for the night. And they are bumping and banging through the Air Force flyaway in this LCQ. Into the FXR turn, we will set the field and let you know who's where. As our leader stumbles a bit and gives up the lead, Cole Coutu will go into the lead.
Right behind him, Corbin Anderson on the number 17, Skidoo, Kyle Rao, the 25 Artie Cat, Jake De Silva, Michael George on his Artie Cat, the 307. He is in. Blanchard and Turchanik are out right now.
And there is your leader. That's Cole Coutu out of Lake Nabagaman, Wisconsin. He sets the pace down the Air Force flyaway right in front of the grandstands and the fans right here on that 21 machine. The battle for second continues. Anderson and Rao 1 and 2 and 3. And the man on the bubble continues to be Michael George. Will set the field. Coutu, Anderson, Rao, De Silva, and Michael George, but Jacob Blanchard is right there.
About a second out of being in the finals. Got to find a way to make up that second, get around at least Michael George, or Jacob Blanchard, and Steven Turchanik.
We're watching the battle for second right there as Rao got around Corbin Anderson. And again, these racers got to remember, you want to win, you want to run second, but you got to go top 5 to get into that final. So when all is said and done, don't risk it all if you're in a qualifying position right now.
You know, and the worst part about this whole deal is these guys trying to get into the finals, they've got to race this race, which is a non-points race. So, I mean, you're beating up your machine, you're beating up your body. What for? Because you didn't perform well enough in the qualifying rounds to make the final. You've got to be in the top 5 here to make the final.
And we're watching the battle on the bubble right there. That's the 307 of Michael George, and Jacob Blanchard is right there on his tail trying to find his way in. And again, we go back up to the Raul Corbin-Anderson battle, and that continues to be the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Anderson trying to make a charge on the inside on the number 17 Skidoo.
So the white flag is out. It's Katu, it's Rao, it's Corbin Anderson, it's Michael George, and now Jake De Silva scored in 4th with Jacob Blanchard on the outside looking in.
Yeah, so George was able to get around Jake De Silva. Blanchard still out. Blanchard from Garfield, Minnesota, right about in the middle of Minnesota.
Through that Skidoo corner, as they head down the backstretch for the final time and towards the checkers in the Pro Lite LCQ. The battle will continue, but the win will go to the 21, Cole Katu. Kyle Rouse 2nd, Corbin Anderson will come across in 3rd. Here comes the battle for 4th. Michael George in the final spot goes to Jacob Blanchard. Got around Jake De Silva at the last second and finds his way into the final. So Blanchard goes in and De Silva is done for the day.
Boy, that's a couple of things. That's some good racing and some good luck to get into the final. These guys got a little bit of time to go back, make sure their sleds are ready to go, hydrate a little bit. Their final coming up. Yes, looking in the air.
Well, they're in the inside of the racetrack. I don't blame them a bit. We're about to go green with the FXR Sport Final. You want a hard hat or a helmet at the very least. Life is a highway, ladies and gentlemen, or a front stretch, straight towards the Air Force Flyaway. Salamanca, New York. Hello, world. Thanks for tuning in to round 9 of AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, powered by Rhea. About to go to the starters' hands. The U.S. Air Force Snowcross National, presented by Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino. The FXR Sport Final is on the starting line and in the starters' hands. Points at each racer. And they're racing! Headed towards the AMSOIL finish line. Oh my goodness, 15 sleds.
Patience, boys.
They made it through somehow, except
wow,
one of our leaders off the racetrack. I believe that was Eddie Neubauer, our 2nd fastest qualifier, and down the backstretch they go, and the 113 of Adam Peterson is in the lead.
Peterson bumps up classes here.
My goodness, are they everywhere on that backstretch, Mike?
Look at them bouncing around there. It's still Peterson out front. Watch them as they come through.
Rider off his sled right there in the Arctic Cat corner.
Might have been Dylan Jensen. It was an Arctic Cat. Meanwhile, there's your race leader, Adam Peterson. Let's set the order as they come back in front of us. That's Peterson out in front, right behind the 413, Evan Dowd.
Let's take a look at what happened here at the very beginning of this race. You'll see it just to the inside in the Arctic Cat corner. Some bumping and banging and a little off balance. And the 217 rider of Jay Lura off his sled. But there's your leader. And Lavallee Racing having a much better night one here in Salamanca, New York than perhaps they've had all year. Kyle Pauline was fast in his heat, and leading right now is Adam Peterson, but there's Evan Dowd, and he is right on his tail.
I don't know if Peterson got rattled because all of a sudden he knew that Dowd was right there.
Out of the FXR turn and headed for the AMSOIL finish line. We've got 5 laps to go in the FXR Sport Final, and this one is yet to be decided as it's Peterson and Dowd 1 and 2.
And your number 1 qualifier, Nicholas Lawrence, now has gotten around Dylan Jensen, so he's sitting in 3rd place. So Lawrence in 3rd, Jensen, Roper in 5th, Mitchell Thielen in 6th, Glashagel and Giesman. Those are your top 8 drivers.
Down the Air Force Flyaway, Adam Peterson, the inside line. Dowd will look to the outside, and Nicholas Lorenz is about to get involved as well. Out of the FXR turn and headed towards the AMSOIL finish line again. Your top 3, you can throw a blanket over them, but the man setting the pace is the 113 of Adam Peterson out of Medford, Wisconsin. Into the turn they go.
Oh, Lawrence went big.
He sure did.
He made up a bunch of time in the air that time.
4 laps, less than 4 laps to go for those 3 right there. And Adam Peterson, your leader, is setting the pace, but he's got 2 very hungry racers right on his tail. Into the Ram turn is your leader, in second and third. Dowd looks to the inside. Peterson back on the gas over the Amsoil finish line. Peterson slows up a bit. Here comes Dowd.
And that gave Nicholas Lorenz a chance to make up some ground. Look at him work the outside.
The 4:13 is your second place rider. That's Evan Dowd. And here comes your leader. And the battle for second has changed things. I believe Lorenz got around him that time. We'll look at it as they go right in front of us.
He did.
No, he didn't. Dowd's still there, but Lorenz almost got that spot. The battle continues. And now we've got 2 laps to go for Adam Peterson.
Peterson with just about a second lead. Dowd again a second over Lorenz. Then it's Roper, Thielen, and Glashagel. Those are your top 6.
And here comes Lorenz again.
Man, you could throw a blanket over these guys.
Peterson into the skidoo turn. A great shot right there as you see 1, 2, and 3. Down the Air Force flyaway front stretch they go.
Boy, you've got to be clean and consistent. This time Lorenz said, I'm going to take the outside, see if I can power sweep around.
The white flag is out for Adam Peterson. 1 lap to go for the young man out of Wisconsin. There's your battle for second. It's Dowd and Lorenz. Lorenz is so fast in this section of the track. He tries to make up some room once again and can't make the pass there.
Peterson still out in front. You know, the more these guys do battle for second and third, too, that's helping Adam out. He goes, go ahead, keep fighting for it.
Adam Peterson into the FXR turn for the final time. The checkers are in the air, and the win for Adam Peterson. Evan Dowd will hold on for second, and Nicholas Lorenz will come across in third. What a race in this FXR Sport Final in Salamanca, New York. Peterson, Dowd, and Lorenz, 2 seconds between the top 3 in this FXR Sport class. What a race to start that final tonight. And you see the Mystic Lubricants LaValle Racing Team celebrate as Adam Peterson gets another win.
And your winner is out of Medford, Wisconsin, racing for LaValle Racing, Polaris, Rocks, FXR, and C&A Pro Skis on the number 113 Polaris, Adam Peterson. Let's go down to Winner's Circle and meet our winners. Chelsea?
Hey guys, this is our FXR Sport Class top 3. In the 3rd spot, Nicholas Lorenz. You were pushing and pushing and pushing Evan. What more did you need in that race?
I just needed a better hole shot. I mean, that's what it came down to. The tracks, it's pretty one line, but you could try outsides, insides. It was pretty equal everywhere. It was a really good race. Evan and Adam did awesome. They rode really good this week.
And who do you want to thank tonight?
I want to thank Maximum Service, Heating and Cooling, Gatsky family for letting us ride in their trailer, FXR, Lorenz X-Main Topsail, Judnick Motorsports, Pond Graphics Designs. Several was there for me. I want to give a big shout out to Jacob Yerrick, send prayers out to him. He had a really bad crash in the first round and just hope he's doing all right, and send prayers to him and his family.
Thank you, Nick. Congratulations. In 2nd spot, Evan Dowd. Now, Evan, you've had a rough start to the season. How does it feel to be on the box tonight?
Oh my gosh, it feels amazing. I've been pushing so hard to get here. Just had a lot of bad luck at the beginning of the season, and I'm just so pumped. This is a turning point right here. I'm gonna start giving it. I'm gonna be on the box more.
Absolutely. And who do you want to thank tonight?
First of all, I got to give a huge shout out to God. I wouldn't be here, wouldn't have the ability, wouldn't have the opportunity, anything without Him. Also, my dad, my mom, all my friends, family, wouldn't be here without them either. And Team LaValle, huge help. They are always there for me, always supporting. Polaris, Fox Shocks, C&A Pro Skis, Mystic Lubricants, Loctite, Rock Speed FX, just Showy, FXR, everybody else. I forgot. I'm so pumped. Thanks to everybody, and also a huge shout out to Jake Yerrick. Hopefully he's okay. It's a bummer that he got hurt. Never like to see that, but hope for a quick recovery for him.
Thank you, Evan. And up on top of the box tonight, Adam Peterson. You said earlier during your Sport Lite podium, this is what we came out for. We weren't going to turn around. We weren't going back without a win. How does it feel to get 2 wins tonight and your first national sport win?
No, this is amazing. I just got a really good start and just did what I had to do to win it.
Absolutely. And who do you want to thank for your fast ride tonight?
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my mechanic Brad. Huge shout out to him for coming out with us. Jim Bauer, the leaders, everyone back at the Polaris trailer, everyone at the Valley trailer, Mystic, Loctite, Woody, Cine Pro, Peterson Concrete, FXR, Bauer Excavating, Rolling Machinery, J. Ryan Bonding, all my friends. Shout out to MikeBurba.com and everyone watching at home. Thanks.
Congratulations, Adam. And like a lot of the other racers referenced too, we do want to say, get well. Jacob, we hope all is well with you. And then as soon as we learn more, we'll let you guys know. But thoughts and prayers are with Jacob tonight.
And we are about to go green. Again, 10 sleds about to take the start. 5 will transfer. It all comes down to this. And they're racing. Headed for the Air Force flyaway. Stenberg with the Air Force, I should say with the stud boy hole shot. But on the outside line,
Matthew Marin
very fast into that turn.
That Skidoo of his, just really a rocket on the outside.
Stenberg, Marin, David Jonas, Pieti, Puhaka, and Andrew Carlson, your top 5 as we speak.
They are all bunched up too. Nobody able to pull away from anybody except your leader. Stenberg's put a little distance between he and the rest of the field. Found that inside line to be more of his liking. Let's see if he continues that way around the racetrack.
Into the FXR turn, your leader, headed towards the Amsoil finish line. Will set the field. John Stenberg, Matthew Marin, David Jonas, Pieti Puhaka, and Corey Watkinson with Mikko Osmo, the man on the outside looking in.
Good battle for second place between Jonas and Matthew Marin.
Is that the battle for the bubble right there between two ponds? Oh no, that's the 173 of Corey Watkinson. He was the man on the bubble right there.
Little contact, off he came. That means that Mikko Osmo will move up into a transfer
Let's
spot.
see what happens here. Watkinson right there on the inside is the 168. That's Pieti Puhaka.
Yeah, he made contact with him.
And that was Watkinson just making sure he didn't get into Puhaka right there. So a good move by Watkinson. But here's the new battle for the bubble then. And that should be Osmo and Poirier battling for that 5th spot right there.
Remember, Poirier's got a win under his belt already tonight in the Air Group Pro-Am Plus 30. Sure would like to get into the final here.
That would be a good night for Poirier, no doubt about it. So it's Stenberg, Jonas, Morin, Puhaka, and Osmo, your top 5 right now, with Poirier the man on the outside looking in. Into the FXR turn and headed for that Amsoil finish line. 2 laps to go for this last chance qualifier to set the field for the final later tonight. And that's the 312 of Danny Poirier. And he wants one more spot to make this a really good night. And you see the 2 sleds right in front of him. This is not over yet. A lap and a half to go for Jonas, Stenberg, Morin, Puhaka, and Osmo as Poirier tries to find his way in, Mike.
He has found a couple of different lines that have worked relatively well, but just can't seem to make up enough ground to make a pass around Mikko Osmo to get into the top 5 and make the final.
And Jonas to the lead.
Yeah, and Poirier trying so hard to get in this final.
The white flag is out for the LCQ, and David Jonas is your new leader. Stenberg is continuing to run second. But the battle rages on for the 5th and final transfer spot. That's the 115 of David Jonas out of Cochrane, Ontario, Canada. But right here it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 463 of Mikko Osmo trying to hold off Danny Poirier for a half a lap more. David Jonas will get the win. Stenberg will get second. Looks like Marin will come across in third. And the battle out of the FXR turn is a drag race. Oh my.
Danny didn't get him.
He did not. Osmo gets the 5th and final transfer spot by 0.5 of a second. 5/100ths of a second, I should say. David Jonas, John Stenberg, Matthew Marin, Pieti Puhaka, and Miko Osmo are your top 5 who will transfer to tonight's AMSOIL Pro Open Final and set that field. That leaves us with 2 races, the 2 biggest ones of the night, the Pro Lite Final and the AMSOIL Pro Open Final.